In the 21st century, with telescopes scanning distant galaxies, mRNA vaccines saving lives, and robotic probes exploring the outer edges of the solar system, there are still millions of people, grown adults, who genuinely believe that whispering words into the air will bring results. Yes, after centuries of scientific, technological, and philosophical progress, prayer is still being sold as a reliable method to get responses from the creator of the universe. And even though those responses never actually arrive, that's no problem. Faith has a miraculous ability to turn nothing into God's will. Let's begin with the central claim: prayer works. Really? Does it? Has it ever cured cancer in a hospital setting without medical intervention? Has it ever prevented a war or solved a famine just because people prayed hard enough? Has it stopped a tsunami or rebuilt a house struck by an earthquake? Spoiler alert, no. But logic doesn't apply when it comes to faith. When nothing happens, it's simply not God's will. Prepackaged excuse. Easy to use. It's amusing how people say you have to pray with faith, as if faith were some secret password. And if you don't get what you asked for, then it's because you didn't pray the right way, or God knows best. Which basically means, beg all you want, he'll do whatever he wants anyway. And if he doesn't help, it's your fault for not believing hard enough. Brilliant psychological setup, divine gaslighting at its finest. Now, imagine this: you're a parent, and your child is crying, hungry, sick, or afraid. Do you wait until they beg you repeatedly before you help? Of course not. You help because you love them. So why would a supposedly all-loving God need you to kneel, cry, and beg multiple times before he lifts a divine finger? And even then, surprise, he still might not lift it. Believers, of course, try to justify this divine inaction with classic phrases like, God isn't a genie, you can't ask for material things, he answers in his time, or my personal favorite, God gives peace of mind. Wow. The all-powerful creator of the universe only gives peace of mind? That's it. You lose your job, your house burns down, you get diagnosed with cancer, and all you get is calm feelings? What a bargain. And what happens when things go well? Oh, that's always because of prayer. Grandma survived surgery. God did it. Got the job. God again. Hurricane avoided your house. Praise Jesus. But your neighbor's house? Well, they probably didn't pray enough. Or they had sin in their hearts. Notice the pattern. Good things equals God. Bad things equals your fault or mysterious divine plan. The illusion sustains itself beautifully. Prayer, in reality, is a mass ritual of self-delusion. It's the adult version of talking to a wall and convincing yourself the wall is talking back. It's speaking to an invisible being who never replies, never shows up, never gives any concrete sign of existence, but somehow listens to you because you are special. Because, of course, your whisper matters among billions of voices. And then there are those who say, but I felt the presence of God when I prayed. Sure. People also feel the presence of their dead aunt at a seance. That's called autosuggestion. The brain is a powerful thing. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and concentrate, and you can feel anything you want, including an imaginary being loving you silently. You don't need a desert god for that. Just mindfulness and a bit of imagination. Another popular one, I pray so God can guide my decisions. As if free will needs a user manual. People pray before choosing a career, a partner, or a home. And when it goes wrong, it becomes a lesson from God. So he didn't help you avoid the bad choice, but at least he's teaching you something after you crash into the wall. So loving. In the end, prayer is the ultimate placebo. It doesn't heal, fix, or solve anything, but it feels like you did something. You get to tell yourself that you tried, that you reached out, that there's hope. It's no different from carrying a lucky charm or hanging garlic on your door to ward off evil. Pure superstition with religious branding. And then there's collective prayer, those surreal images of people praying to stop a hurricane or for a certain politician to win. As if God ran a cosmic reality show where he answers the side with the most votes. Do people really believe God has a celestial Excel spreadsheet calculating prayer quotas? 1,287,346 requests for healing grandma, but only 42,000 for starving children in Yemen. Sorry kids, not enough prayers. But here's the real kicker. Most of these adults who pray to their invisible friend would be deeply concerned if their own children spoke daily to imaginary beings. If little Timmy tells you he has an invisible friend who gives him advice, we call that a psychological issue. But if a grown man claims God told him to do something, that's considered faith. Stunning double standard. Let's be clear, we're not mocking the emotional pain of people who pray in desperation. What we're mocking is the absurd idea that prayer is effective. That there's someone listening. That something is happening. That's the illusion. And the real tragedy is when people stop acting because they believe that praying is action. That if they whisper hard enough, maybe the cancer will go away. Maybe the floodwaters will retreat. Maybe they won't have to do anything else. Prayer is comforting because it makes people feel they're not alone, even when they are. It's a mechanism to endure helplessness. But let's not pretend it's anything more than that. No God has ever healed a limb, ended a war, or fed a child through prayer. But you can. You, with your hands, your brain, your empathy. That's where real miracles come from. So yes, pray if it makes you feel better. Just don't expect results. Don't think the sky owes you a reply. Don't call it a solution. And please, don't pretend it's mature, rational, or respectable for adults to spend hours talking to an imaginary friend and waiting for magic. That belongs in childhood, or maybe in a Harry Potter novel. Because in the end, the silence you hear after prayer isn't a mystery. It's just silence. And maybe accepting that silence is the first step toward real growth, where you stop waiting for divine intervention and start doing the work yourself. No miracles. No divine plans. Just people helping people. And that is a prayer worth answering. Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting or thought-provoking, please consider giving it a like, sharing it with others, and leaving a comment with your opinion. I'd love to hear what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. See you in the next video.